This is a video about public restrooms. I can understand why most people don't use public restrooms, but a lot of public restrooms, I use, but I make sure I have a standard. If it's too dirty, then no, I'm not about to use it. But, you gotta calculate some stuff in your brain. You gotta know how long you'll be outside or out and about away from your home in which you'll use your bathroom. But if you're outside for a long time like I am, like I just came back from a walk. So I regularly use public restrooms. And a lot of public restrooms is decent. As in, the big name companies, brand ones. Depending on the areas in which they are. So I'll go down to the HEB. But my long story short, my pet peeve about restrooms is not necessarily the uncleanness of it. Because even if it's clean, I still got a problem with it. But yes, I know I use restrooms, but the only reason I use restrooms is because it's convenient. I don't want to piss on myself, and I don't want to shit on myself for the sake of not using public restrooms. So I use public restrooms. But the biggest thing I got against public restrooms is the urinals. Who the hell drew the blueprints to the urinals? And who had enough sense to actually build the infrastructure of the urinals? And this was back then. So it ain't like how now, like homosexuality is accepted now. This was back then. What, man? That's why every time I go to a public restroom, I always use the stalls. So if you got to take a dump or take a number two, if you got to take a number two, you got to squat, you got to go in one of them stalls, and somebody's already occupying one of them stalls. If I'm in there, I will be in one of them stalls, regardless of what I'm doing. If I'm, peeing or doing number two. If I'm peeing, I'm being in the stalls. Because I'm not about to pee. The only time I'll use the urinal is when there's rarely anybody inside the restroom. Meaning, if there's just people, there can be people in the stalls, but if there's people in the stalls and there's people in the urinals, I'll just hang out by the sink. Even if there's one urinal open, I'm hanging out by the sink. I'll risk pissing on myself then because they got the air dryers. I can just dry that shit away, man. But honestly, that's real. But really, but if there's nobody in the urinals and there's people in the stalls, and I'll come in the restroom, and ain't nobody, there can be somebody washing their hands at the sink. I'm going straight to that urinal. I'm peeing the fastest I ever pissed in my life. And I'm getting, because, man, there's something about being that close to a man while you're taking a piss. It doesn't make sense. Who the hell built this shit? Hey, fellas. hey, man, we need a whole new infrastructure. Well, yeah, that's just... Oh man, it's crazy. It's really it's shocking. It's surprising. To the people that do not use public restrooms, you have my respect. And not only because public restrooms are dirty, but you have my respect because them daggone urinals. Hey, but if you dig it, then get it. I'm messing it up again. But if you dig it, then dig it again until you can get it dug. If you haven't caught it, catch it again until you can get it caught. That was so crazy. But if you haven't caught it, I guess that's just your loss. But anyways, yeah, I'm getting tired of saying this shit. But yeah, go outside, get you some sun, man. Get you some sun. Go walk. Because we already know y'all love the heat. You don't like the cold weather because y'all asses is never outside whenever it's cold. Whenever the weather is here that people claim they love. They never outside ever. Every time there's weather in which people hate, they always outside and they not in the shade. So get your ass outside, exercise, go to work, do something. Get outside.